Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Very cool.
I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy you said yes and you're here with us to talk a little bit about your experience, your career. Um,
Yay, I'd love to.
my first question to you is, what do you enjoy most about acting?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think this is a cliche answer, but that you can really be whoever you want to be, and you get to explore different parts of yourself that you really don't get to as just a human being, being alive. And yeah, as a little kid, I always loved playing dress up, and it's kind of like you never have to grow up. And so I think I really admire that I can still be a little kid and that's what I get paid to do. It's just play.
It's incredible. That's a really good answer. And what has been your favorite experience so far?
And I think they all have different little pieces in my heart. You know, when you're an actor and you play a part, you get so invested in the role and you kind of have to throw your whole self into it that you kind of like, even the times where I've had maybe some negative experiences on a job, I fall in love with the job in a different way. I mean, I really love the show that I'm currently on, which is called Shining Vale, and it's on Stars, and it's coming out. The second season is currently coming out, and it's been such a the word I can think of is warm experience. Everybody feels genuinely like a family, and I feel so listened to and validated. And I love the showrunner, and I love everyone who works on it. It feels like it's been vetted by such good people, and yeah. So that's probably been my favorite, just like personal people experience. And I also do feel very challenged by the part, and like the writers are writing for me, and yeah, but I really have loved everything I've done. I do.
That's incredible. And you mentioned both your parents are actors, and I don't know if you know, I interviewed your brother a while ago.
I do, and he loves you. He thinks
I
you're
love him
amazing.
too. It's one of
Yeah.
my absolute favorite interviews to do. It's so nice.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
and I asked him about what it was like growing up in a family of actors, and I got his experience, his view on it. It would be amazing to get yours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like what else would Ephraim and I have grown up to be other than actors? Like we were just our parents really entrenched us in so much art and the history of art and theater. And my dad was a theater actor and performer for so much of my childhood. And I don't know. I think it was a very kooky, artsy, loving childhood. And I didn't really know I wanted to be an actor fully until I think I was like 16, and I had I had been performing in like childhood stuff, but it was just mostly to kind of get me out of my shell and to feel a bit more like extroverted because I was a very introverted person. I still am. But I think when I was about like 16, I started auditioning professionally and actually getting things. Oh wow, the sun is like shining. Um and I think I got like my first like serious job when I was 16, and I think I didn't realize the magnitude of that. And so I was on the set. It was a show on Spike, and I was on the set acting, and I was like, wow, I actually think this makes me really happy, and I'm good at this. It's just grown as I've gotten older, and I'm so thankful that I have a family that all does this and understands, because we can lean on each other in a way that I know so many of my friends who are actors really do need that support and understanding. And just yeah, I feel very lucky.
That's incredible. And you also did a bit of music, right?
Yes,
I listened to it. So it's incredible. Is that something you want to focus more in the future?
I think I do. I love to sing. I think I get intimidated by like actively putting all my music out there and like pushing that, because I know I'm not the best singer and the most skilled musician. But writing music is something that makes me so happy and makes me feel very fulfilled as like a person. Um, so definitely I would love to keep I continue to write, and I have friends who help me produce, and and I've been lucky because in a lot of the jobs I've done, they've incorporated my singing or like me playing something. And so it's just, hopefully as I get older, I'll put more out there and I'll feel more confident. But yes, I love to write and to sing.
Well, if you decide to focus more on it, I'll be sure to follow because what I heard was incredible. And I'm a musician. I play the trumpet. If you ever need a trumpet, I'm here for you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I might take you up on that.
Absolutely, I'll be waiting. And I wanted to ask you so many questions about Shining Vale because it seems like such an amazing show, but it hasn't aired in Portugal. It's not here. I've been looking for it, and then I searched and I was like, oh, it doesn't aired in Portugal, so that's why I can find it.
No, oh my gosh, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. We don't have to talk about Shining Vale, but well, when it does come out, check it out. It's a very good show. I might be biased, but I think it's great.
I will.
So,
I had already seen things, and I really wanted to watch. And when I was going to, it wasn't there. But I do have one question from someone who is on the show to people who haven't watched it because we don't have access to the show. What can you tell us about it?
oh wow, it's, it is one of a kind. There is no show out there like it. I think it goes all over the place. It's like a roller coaster. But it's basically, the premise is it's a family that moves to Connecticut from the city after the mom has had an affair, and they move into this big house, and she starts seeing things and hearing things, and nobody knows if it's like psychosis or if they're actually real and the ghosts are. So yes, and we're on the second season now, and so it's kind of trickled down into my character. I play the daughter, and so now I'm seeing things. I'm spoiling stuff, but yeah, it's really fun. It's kind of like American Horror Story, but like a comedy version. And yeah, everybody on it's terrific. The lead is Courtney Cox, and she's just an incredible actress, but also a really kind human being. And I think that is important to be said because I just think sometimes you can think somebody's a famous person and they lose sight of like being a person, and she's incredible. So I will sing her praises forever.
I'm even more excited to watch the show. When it comes out, I'll be like the first one to check it. So I don't have more questions about Shining Vale, unfortunately, but I decided to compensate because and find a couple questions about another show that you've been because I had to, Dickinson.
Heard you were a big fan.
I am. I have a tattoo on my arm of Dickinson.
Oh my, what does it say?
It's forevermore.
It says Dickinson. Oh my gosh! No, that's so great. Oh
My
my
first tattoo,
gosh!
and I was like, it has to be Dickinson. It has to. So I
Well,
had to.
I'm honored. That's great.
So my first question is, how did you get involved with the show, and how was that experience?
I was, I think like 18 when I auditioned for it. And I actually went in, fun fact, for Sue first. I auditioned for Sue, and then I auditioned for Lavinia, and then I auditioned for Jane. And I went in for my part like a lot. I auditioned for their show a lot, and I was loved the script. I thought it was so original. I thought Elena, who's the showrunner, was just like, her brain worked in a different, unique, wonderful way. And yeah, so I auditioned for it like 5 times because I did a couple different roles, and then finally I got the script for Jane, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know she was a smaller part out of the other 2, but I loved her, and I thought I loved playing kind of like the mean girl. And what I loved about the show was like she steadily kind of became so much more intricate than you think she is. And I just loved that time period and the costumes, and yeah, it was a great experience.
I mean, it was when I watched it, I've watched it like 4 times by now. I started rewatching because I mean I got an interview with you. I had to. And it's just such a special show. Actually, on the newspaper in my high school that I was in, I wrote an article about that show. So it was really like it still is. It's very special. and you're a great part of it. I love Jane. I love her character. Like, it's incredible. So funny.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I have like my other question about Dickinson. It's more like I'm curious because there's a few party scenes in Dickinson. Like for example, season three, no. Episode 3, Wild Nights, episode 5, kind of a party scene when you're all changing costumes in the Shakespeare episode. And
Yeah.
Dickinson was the only show that I looked at it and I was like, this genuinely looks so fun. So was it as fun as it looks? Because it looks so fun.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Definitely. I will say being on a set, you were on there for hours and hours, and the scene like takes forever. So like those party scenes, like in episode 5, the poetry episode, like, or the book club, that's what it was. That scene took like a week to film. Like that was a really long shoot. But we all got really close. And Sophie and Allegra, who play like Abby and Abaya, who are my little sidekick, whatever, we got very close. I got close with them, and Kevin, who's Toshiaki. We became very good friends. And then actually, when the first season finished, Ella, who plays Sue, we're like best friends. We got really, really close. So I loved shooting that show just because it was like, yeah, I was hanging out with some of my best friends for like hours, and I was getting paid to do that. So it was very cool.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because exactly that scene, like specifically, it can take a long time to shoot. And I was just like, in my head, that was so fun. I needed to know if it was as fun as it looked.
No, it was definitely very fun. And like, in the third episode of the first season, Wild Nights, that whole dance sequence, there was like a choreographer and like hours of rehearsal, and that was so cool. And the music was awesome. And just, it was, it's been a couple years, so I'm trying to rack my brain, but I totally remember shooting that and how much fun it was. And I remember us all thinking like, this is a really special show, and how lucky we felt to be a part of it. And it was the first season and it hadn't come out yet. And just like, all the possibilities and just where it went from there was so cool. So, yeah.
I'm so happy. Now I'll watch it and I know I'll know it will be like a whole new light.
Good. Yeah.
I have one last question for you, which is I always ask this, tips for young actors. Do you have any?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's so many things to say. I guess it's just, I think the weird stuff about yourself, the things that you don't like, the things that people tell you that are wrong, I actually find are always the things that are your strengths. And to just not be discouraged about your weirdness. I think it's so important. Like, that's what separates you out. And there's been so many times in my life that I like compare myself to people and like wish I was something else. And it's like, no, it's actually the things about me that I feel like are quirky, or the things that separate me and make me special. And I think that goes for everyone. Like, just embrace your uniqueness and find your slot, and that you'll find your slot from there is pretty much what I'm trying to say. Is like, don't try to fit somebody else's lane or spot or career, and carve out your own path using like all of the wonderful weirdness of yourself. So yes, I hope that made sense.
It did. It's an amazing advice. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. And yeah,
thank you. I'm so glad to do this. So it was great talking to you, and I'm glad you like Dickinson. I will let everyone know that there's an amazing fan.
Thank you. Thank you.